Hello, so today I'm going to do for you another kind of immediate TBR video. This is not me going through the entire book walls behind me because that would take 7 years. But this is, I already did one of these. By the time this gets posted, that will have been up for a while. I just edited it and that's when I thought maybe I should do another one. Because we did move to a new place. Some of the stuff in the old one has been read. Some of the stuff in the old one has just been shoved back in the book wall because I had to make new stacks. But this is kind of the same concept as the last one. I've got TBR stacks. I have 10 of them. So let's just see. Let's just look through them here now, shall we? So I think we're going to start at the back this time, actually. So we've got 10 stacks, like I said. Yeah, we're going to start with the back. We'll start at the back here. So I've got Girl Through Glass by Sari Wilson. A lot of these ones in the back especially are newer ones. You can see I've got this one received on 6/28. I'm filming this on 7/12, but I'm not going to be going into too much detail on very many of these because I've got a lot to get through. I've got Terrified by Kevin O'Brien. Read one of his books a while ago, really enjoyed it. Half Sick of Shadows by Laura Sebastian. This was my June Book of the Month book. Pet Cemetery by Stephen King. A reread, but I haven't read this edition, specifically that book specifically. Never Night by Jay Kristoff, which I picked up at Barnes & Noble fairly recently. Been excited about this one for a while. Got The Dark Half by Stephen King, a reread. I now have an edition with a dust jacket, so that's exciting. The Field Guide to the North American Teenager by Ben Philippe. Winsburg, Ohio by Sherwood Anderson. R.L. Stine Sr.'s Fight Team Fight. This is book 7. When it comes to books in series, I've got some of them, obviously, if they're like a series that is more serious, I guess, and not like this one. These ones I'll read out of order. I'll read manga out of order. Everything else, if a book pops up and I have not read it, have not read the books before it, it goes back in the book stacks. The way I do this is I pick a random number from 1 to 10. That's the stack I pick from. The first stack I read in order, but every other stack after that, I then count how many books there are, pick a random number out of those, and that's what I decide what I read next, because everything has to be overcomplicated and weird. I've got The Wind in the Willows by Kenneth Grahame. I've got Miracle Wimp by Eric P. Kraft. Technically a reread. I did actually read this book when it was the library's, but now it's mine, and I get to read it again. Cyrano de Bergerac by Edmund Rosted. It's a play. The Bronze Key by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. This is book 3 in the Magisterium series, and this would be an example of one where if this pops up and I have not gotten to the second book, which I believe is in the book wall somewhere, then I will put it back in the book stacks. So that's kind of what we're talking here. All right. Got Last Days by Adam Neville, which is culty. We've got After the End by Amy Plum. So that is the first stack here. The second, I guess technically the 9th stack, that's what I count as stack number 9. And this is stack number 10, technically. We've got What Happened to Goodbye by Sarah Dessen, which I actually discovered I have 2 copies of, but that's what happens sometimes when your book wall is 1,400 books. Marked by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. I read a lot of these books when I was a child, and so now I've got the first one again for some reason. Got Monday's Not Coming by Tiffany D. Jackson. I've got Shopaholic Ties the Knot by Sophie Kinsella. This is probably one where I won't bother reading them in order because it doesn't feel like I really need to. I've got Internment by Samira Ahmed, which looks intense, to say the least. We've got, oh God, threw a Sweet Valley High book on the floor. Sweet Valley High, Racing Hearts. Can Roger melt Lila's icy heart? I don't know. Christmas Shopaholic by Sophie Kinsella. This is an ARC. It came out in October of 2019. I won it from Goodreads and I have not yet read it because that's how Goodreads wins go for me. I've got Invisible Prey by John Sanford. We've got Captain's Fury by Jim Butcher. This is book 4 in the Codex Alera. Book 3 I don't believe I even have, so when this one pops up, it's probably just going straight back in the stacks. We've got Spur, Rocky Mountain Vamp, and Cat House Kitten by Dirk Fletcher. We've got Pigeon Feathers by John Updike. Very thin, should be a fast one. Got Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare in this gorgeous, gorgeous edition. I mean, I've seen these editions before, but I haven't seen them in like non-mass market paperbacks. It's so pretty, and I love it a lot. I got The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. Got Survive the Night by Riley Sager. This was one of the books that I picked out as an add-on for my July book of the month. And Too Much in Love. Will Dee Dee's dependents chase Billy away? We don't know. We don't know. All right, so then this next stack here, we've got Apocalypse of the Dead by Joe McKinney. Life as We Knew It by Susan Beth Pfeiffer. I don't know. The Cannibals by Keith Brassell. I don't know. Self-Defense by Jonathan Kellerman. 4 Past Midnight by Stephen King, and a big ol' mass market there. A Heartbreaker, another Sweet Valley High one. Will Jessica break Bill's heart too? We don't know. We don't know. The 50-50 Friendship Flow by Shari Lade. This is another Goodreads win that I have yet to read. We're killing it. The Ambassadors by Henry James. Fruits Basket Volume 3 by Natsuki Takuya. And manga is, like I said, one that I am willing to read out of order. It really kind of depends on the series, though. Like One Punch Man, I'm pretty much reading in order. But like if I come up, like this one, I'm just gonna read even though I haven't read books 1 and 2. Bleach, I'm reading kind of out of order, so it just kind of depends. The Plains of Passage by Jean M. Aoul. This is, I believe, part of a series, and yeah, it's 4th in a series. And since I don't want to read it, I will put it back in the stacks when it comes up because I have read none of the other books in the series. Busted by Gina Choka. I always pronounce this name that way, and I feel like it's way too dramatic, but it's what I do. The Couple Next Door by Shari Lepina. The New Girl by R.L. Stine. This is a Fear Street book. Scrappy Little Nobody by Anna Kendrick. Oh, we're gonna tip. I hope not. Noose by Eric Red. Savage by Richard Lehman. I've been very excited about getting into these Richard Lehman books because I've been very interested in splatterpunk recently, and Richard Lehman is apparently one of the mainstays of that lovely little horror subgenre. And Grant and Sherman by Charles Braslin Flood, The Friendship That Won the Civil War. Ulysses is my man, like Ulysses' favorite. I know he was a bad president, but that was just because all he was good at was drinking, writing, and being a Civil War general. I love that man, and this is one that I actually got, one of my old college roommates got me for my birthday years ago, and it is finally a possibility for me to be reading. All right, next stack. We've got, what is this? Return of the Native by Thomas Hardy. I have not read any novels by Thomas Hardy. I've read a lot of his poetry, but apparently his novels are depressing as fuck, so that's gonna be fun. Yeah, The Summer of Us by Cecilia Vines. Cecilia Vines. This is an arc. It came out in June 2018. This is a book I actually won off of a Twitter giveaway. It is signed and everything. It's kind of hard to read there, but Twitter giveaway. I have not read it yet. Then I've got another Goodreads win. Cheat Day by Liv Stratman. This is an arc. It came out in May of this year, actually. This is a very recent one. But I still, I got it in February and I have yet to read it. But we're doing, honestly, that one's in a better position than most of the arcs I went from Goodreads. I've got The Stand by Stephen King. This is actually the edition that I first read. Not the exact same book, that one fell apart, but it's one of the 800-pagers. Can't wait to reread this one. I've got The Perfect Nanny by Layla Slimani, which I've been very excited about for a while. I've got Sin Eater by Elizabeth Massey. We've got another arc from Goodreads, The Curious Heart of Elisa Ray by Stephanie Butland. This came out in October 2019. Again, I have yet to read it. I don't know why they keep sending me books, but they do. I got The Town by Bentley Little. Bentley Little is another one of those horror authors I've been meaning to get into. I have this one. I have another one coming in a book outlet box soon. but I'm excited because this is just another horror author that I've been wanting to get into. I've been trying to branch more out into horror because I read a lot of Stephen King. I read a lot of my old shitty 90s teen horror, but I don't read. I guess I've been collecting a lot of the old paperbacks, but I don't read a lot of horror. I guess I'm talking about splatterpunk. Whenever I look it up, they always talk about Battle Royale, which I have gotten very into, but either way, I've got You Will Know Me by Megan Abbott. The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I've read The Hunger Games. I read it when I was in high school, but I guess we'll be giving it a little bit of a reread then. All Things Bright and Beautiful by James Herriot. Again, this is a sequel, and I don't want to read it, so it will be going back on the stacks unless I happen to get the first book and read it before I get that one. People of the Wolf by W. Michael Gear and Kathleen O'Neill Gear. I believe this is another situation like that. I believe it is another situation where it is a sequel. No, it's the first one. I guess I gotta read it then. Shit, that was a sequel. It's not. I got another Richard Lehman book then. I've got The Woods Are Dark, Restored and Uncut. So excited. And Children of the Night by Mercedes Lackey. All right, next stack here. Kind of shift a little bit. So start off top with some Christopher Pike. We've got Slumber Party. This is actually the stack that my random number generator has been liking the most for some reason. It just loves stack number 5, so it's the shortest one. I've got Lord Jim by Joseph Conrad. I've got Lovely Seeds by R.H. Swaney. This is another book I won off of a Twitter giveaway. Again, it is signed. Again, I have yet to read it. I've got Skeleton Crew by Stephen King. Again, a reread. I've got Franny and Zooey by J.D. Salinger. This book has a email address written on it, so that's fun. Hotel by Arthur Haley, which I don't know what this is. I don't know what this genre is. Could be creepy. Anyway, A Lake of Fire by me, Aurora Dimitri. I read my own books. We've gone over this. Right, No Wonderland by Cressida Lindsay. Not Quite Dead Enough by Rex Stout. In a Place Dark and Secret by Philip Finch. So this is definitely an old horror novel, so that's exciting. The Young World by Chris Weitz. This is a book I actually read years ago. I ended up getting it randomly in a lot of young adult horror books, not horror, young adult like fantasy sci-fi books from eBay, and I also got the sequel. It wasn't very good the first time, but I guess I'll give it a second shot and then read the sequel, I guess. Anyway, Hit and Run by R.L. Stine, and then like I said, that's the shortest stack, so we're on to the next one already. All right, so got Where'd You Go, Bernadette by Maria Semple. All right, Deceptions has Elizabeth found a new love. Don't know, we just don't know. We haven't read it yet. I guess we'll see. The Mind Reader by R.L. Stine, another Fear Street book. Seeing Too Much is Murder. I love taglines. Oh, shit, okay. The Long Walk by Stephen King. I obviously have read The Long Walk 7,000 times, but I've been looking for this edition for years, and I finally got it in a lot of Stephen King books off of eBay, and now I can reread The Long Walk again. Guys, it's the dream. Different Seasons by Stephen King. Novella collection, reread, obviously. I guess it's not really obvious if you haven't been around here for a while. I've got like 6 Stephen King books left, and I'm just rereading a lot, mostly. I've got another arc from Goodreads. I've got The Harp of Kings by Juliette Marillier. This came out in September of 2019. Yet to read it. Oh man, this one's dramatic. We got Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul on Tough Stuff. I think this came in a lot of books from Goodreads. I had like Chicken Soup for the Preteen Soul when I was like 8 years old, and I liked it because I liked all the different stories, but these are Jesus-y too, so we'll just see how this goes, I guess. The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, reread. Bittersweet by Nevada Barr. I believe this is about lesbians. Lesbians in the 19th century, I'm pretty sure, so that might be kind of fun. Kitty and the Dead Man's Hand by Carrie Vaughn. I'm not sure if I'll read the series in order. I think I will just read whatever ones come up, because these are pretty quick paranormal romance books. I don't think they really need to be read in order. So I read the first one a while this year. I've got Night Shift by Stephen King. Short stories, reread. We've got Nightshade by John Saul. John Saul is another one of the horror authors that I have read quite a bit from. I read Suffer the Children, which was a lot, but we'll see what this one brings to the table. I bet. So I don't think he's gonna top that. Anyway, I got The Demon World by Sally Green. This is a sequel to The Smoke Thieves. I really like The Smoke Thieves, so I bought books 2 and 3 when I gave up on my book buying ban, and so now I've got book 2 here. Okay. Ooh, we're gonna fall. Thunderbird Falls by C.E. Murphy. This is book 2 in the Walker Papers. Because I don't want to read it, I will probably just put it back in the stacks. But we'll see. All right, next stack. My foot's falling asleep. Okay. We've got Secrets of the Morning by V.C. Andrews. I know that this is a sequel, so I will not be. This one will be probably just shoved back in the stacks, because I don't want to read these out of order because they're V.C. Andrews. I've got Stone Dead by Ellen Jameson. I know this one was in the last one, so I guess we're still planning on reading this one pretty soon. All right, I got the Civil War Word Book by Daryl Lyman. This is just a bunch of, this just gives me slang, including sayings, phrases, and expletives, so that's super exciting. I got Starring Sally J. Friedman as Herself by Judy Blume. This is a childhood book. I read it quite a few times as a kid. I enjoyed it quite a few times as a kid. I've got Palo Alto by James Franco. Yeah, that guy. I don't know. I've heard bad things about this one, but I think it looks kind of fun. So I figured I'd give it a shot. I think I got it off of Book Outlet. I got The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. Thriller. Been meaning to read this one for a while. Got Dramacon Volume 3 by Svetlana Chkamova. So this one is actually this way, which is weird to me, but whatever. I got Kids of Appetite by David Arnold, which is another one that I'm sure I got off of Book Outlet. I've been more into Book Outlet lately. It's been more of my go-to rather than thrift books for some reason. I think it's because Book Outlet will send me all these sale emails, and thrift books was like, when I got paid when I worked at the school, I would order 5 thrift books. So I guess thrift book will probably pick up again once school starts again. We Have Always Lived in the Castle by Shirley Jackson. Haven't yet read this one. It's blue on the sides though, so that's fun. Bad Girls with Perfect Faces by Lynn Weingarten. Again, I believe it was a Book Outlet book. 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson. This is a signed first edition, which is very exciting. Look at that. I found it in a little free library, and it's mine now. Oops. Misery by Stephen King. I got rid of my other copy of Misery because it sucked. And this one's at least really kind of creepy and cool looking, so I'll probably keep this one around. The edition, not the book itself. Thinner by Stephen King. Love Thinner so much. Probably won't read this one because I have a Bachman hardcover, but I love Thinner so much. Elusive by Emily Lloyd Jones. Been wanting to read this one for a while. Finally ended up, the library work at ended up withdrawing it, so it's mine now. And The Dark Tower, The Gunslinger by Stephen King. 3 stacks left. All right, next stack. I think I'm gonna kind of go like this, and then we'll put the stack here or something. I don't know. All right, I've got Shiver by Maggie Stiefvater. I read this one as a kid, actually, and I think I have books 2 now too. I don't know. I got Attack of the Killer House by Freddie E. Katz. This is looks like a knockoff Goosebumps, not gonna lie. Dakota by Dana Fuller Ross. I believe this is a sequel. Oh no, it's 11th in a series, so I don't want to read it, so it will be put back in the stacks. Elements of Style by Strunk and White. I have read this one, but I think it's a good one to reread, especially as somebody who enjoys literature, reading, writing, English teaching, all that jazz. The Valiant by Leslie Livingston. Princess, Captive, Gladiator. Fun times. Bless Me Ultima by Rudolfo Anaya, which is, I believe, a classic of some kind. Have not read it. Demon's Fright by Penelope Bonka Cripps. Everyone thought it was just kids getting into mischief until the killing began. Fun. I love it. Fatal Obsession by D.B. Baylor. For Lori, love is a nightmare. Love it. All right. Oh, fuck. We drop it. Running Out of Time by Margaret Peterson Haddix. Shift you a little bit over here. Lore by Alexandra Bracken. I've been waiting for this one. I never finished her Passenger series, even though I enjoyed it, but I read the first one. I never read the second one, but now I got this one too. I like her writing. All right. The Lost Island by Preston and Child. The Last Juror by John Grisham. Rose Matter by Stephen King. Night of the Living Dummy by R.L. Stine. Love me some Goosebumps. And Night Pleasures by Sherilyn Kenyon. 2 stacks left. Okay, so this next one is actually the stack that I read in order until I get to Deeper, and then that one can be randomized too. But there's a whole thing. I'm not going to get into it. This is also the tallest stack coming up next. All right. Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Cesar. This is one I've been excited about for a long time. I got this at Barnes & Noble a while ago. I've been very excited about it. I love slashers. I love clowns. We're excited. All right. Return to Carnival of Horrors is the Give Yourself Goosebumps. Gideon Smith and the Mask of the Ripper by David Barnett, about Jack the Ripper. My Best Guess. One Slimy Summer by J.R. Black. Shadow Zone, again, looks like rip-off Goosebumps. Ghosts of Fear Street book. I've got Field of Screams. This is also R.L. Stine. We've got Dave Barry is Not Making This Up by Dave Barry. I had a couple of his books that I would read over and over again when I was like 10. And now I guess I've got this too. I guess he was funny. He's one of like Stephen King's friends. I don't know. Can You Spell Revolution by Matt Beam. This has a Pomida sticker on it, which makes my soul happy. Right. As somebody who was born and lived the first years of their life in a town that was too small for a Walmart, so they had a Pomida, and who avidly played Mallmania. Oh, I love that game. The Accidental Bad Girl by Maxine Kaplan. All right. Christine by Stephen King in this gorgeous edition that I love. Got another copy of The Gunslinger. This one's, I kind of like this edition though. Dark Tower Volume 1, The Gunslinger. Again. Ooh, then we got a really exciting one. Zombie by Joyce Carol Oates. This is like Dahmery. Excited about that. I've got Deeper by Roderick Gordon and Brian Williams. I was reading this before we moved, and then I lost it in the move, and I found it again, so I just shoved it there. So I'm 200 pages in, so when I pick it back up, I will be 228 pages in, I guess. But it's just in the stacks for now. I got another one of my own books that is The False Prophet. This is book 4 in the Bentology of Hell. So buy my books, I guess. I like them. Adele by Layla Slimani. This is the lady who wrote The Perfect Nanny. I got Miss Timmins' School for Girls by Nyana Kurimboy. I'm so sorry, Nyana. Alright, more John Saul. I've got, if it will get off there, there we go. The Unwanted by John Saul. Then I've got 11th Grade Burns by Zach Brewer. And last in this stack, 145th Street Short Stories by Walter Dean Myers. Then the last stack, very last stack. This is less books than last time because I don't have 13 stacks now. I only have 10. And 10 is all the stacks I will have because I don't really have room for any more. Anyway, I've got In Silence Sealed by Catherine Pasek. I don't know. It's Ptacek, if any of you guys know. All right, Wipeout of the Wireless Weenies by David Lubar. Flash Fiction Forward, edited by James Thomas and Robert Shepard. 80 Very Short Stories. This was, we read some of these when I was in my Flash Fiction class. We didn't read all of them, so now I will be reading all of them. It shouldn't take too long. I've got another copy of Different Seasons. This one's orange for some reason, so that's exciting. In the Land of the Lawn Weenies by Walter D. Not Walter Dean Myers. David Lubar. This is a book that I read a lot when I was like 10. All right, I've got Manson by Jeff Gwynne. Reread. Got a horoscope book. This is the final horoscope book that I have not yet read. I'm still sad that they did not have 12 of these. There are only 4, but there should be 12 because it's horoscope. Anyway, The Green Flames of Aries. I'm hoping for one that like kinda stands up to the Taurus. The Taurus one is the only one that I've liked, but anyway, there's a cigarette ad in the middle of this. All right, Vampire Breath by R.L. Stine. Another one of my own books. This is the last one, I promise. 40 Days, book 2 in the Pentology of Hell. So, very exciting. That one's about really apocalyptic. I like it. We All Fall Down by Robert Cormier. I've read this book 1,000 times. I love this book so much, and now I have a hardcover, so that's exciting for me. All right, The Wastelands by Stephen King, book 3 in the Dark Tower series. Lawn Boy by Jonathan Evison. This is one that I won from Goodreads. It's not an ARC, but I did win it from Goodreads a long time ago. All right, The Dark Descent of Elizabeth Frankenstein by Kirsten White. Looked like fun. And finally, a book that I will have to put back in the stacks unless I happen to get book 1 out of the stacks and read it before I get to this one, The Storm by Virginia Bergen. This is a sequel. But yeah, that is my like immediate TBR. Like I kind of explained, it's all very randomized because I'm a fucking weirdo. But yeah, that is that. That is all for today. I'll talk to you later and goodbye.